Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to my channel. Students, in this video I am going to discuss about the classification of the nervous system, the properties, neuroanatomical properties of the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. But before going to the classification of the nervous system, I am telling you what is nervous system. Nervous system is a system of the body which receives the information from inside or outside the body, processes or integrates received information and transmit impulses to control different body functions and to maintain a constant internal environment despite the extreme changes in the external environment. So the nervous system is the system of the body whose function is to receive information and transmit them to the effector organs to control the different body functions for well-being of the individual. Nervous system is divided into two main parts, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord, while the peripheral nervous system consists of the peripheral nerves, which are the spinal and cranial nerves, and the associated ganglia with these nerves. So this is the classification of the nervous system. This is a nervous system classification present in the human body. Brain and spinal cord form the central nervous system, while the peripheral nervous system has the ganglion and the nerves. Nerves may be the cranial and the spinal nerves. Central nervous system. Central nervous system has two parts, the spinal cord and the brain. Spinal cord is roughly a cylindrical structure present in the vertebral canal of the vertebral column and is suspended in the cerebrospinal fluid that protect it from cushion or trauma. Spinal cord originates from the medulla oblongata of the brain at the foramen magnum in the skull and runs down to the lumbar region. It is composed of the grey matter and the white matter. Grey matter is the outer covering that surrounds the grey matter, while the white matter is the inner core, which is H-shaped structure. So the spinal cord is the first part of this central nervous system, and then the brain is also the part of central nervous system. Brain lies in the cranial cavity. It is covered by the meninges. Cerebrospinal fluid surrounds the brain. It is divided into the three major divisions. Number one is the forebrain, number two is the midbrain and the hindbrain. Forebrain consists of the cerebellum and the diencephalon, while midbrain consists of the substantia nigra, red nucleus, tectum and tegmentum, while the hindbrain is composed of the medulla oblongata, pons and cerebellum. Forebrain. The neuroanatomy of the forebrain. Cerebrum, the largest part of the brain, has two cerebral hemispheres. The corpus callosum connect these hemispheres, which is the mass of the white matter, and then the diencephalon, which consists of the dorsal thalamus and the ventral hypothalamus. Thalamus, which is the mass of the grey matter, while the hypothalamus forms the lower part of the lateral wall and floor of the third ventricle. So this is the forebrain. You can watch in the video. This is the forebrain. The largest part of the brain is called the cerebrum, and the diencephalon is hidden in this. Then the midbrain. Midbrain consists of the substantia nigra, red nucleus, tectum, tegmentum. Midbrain is the narrow part that connects the forebrain with the hindbrain. It is also called the mesocephalon. Then the hindbrain. Hindbrain consists of the medulla oblongata, pons and cerebellum. Medulla oblongata is a conical shaped structure that has nuclei. Pons is situated on the anterior surface of the cerebellum, while the cerebellum consists of the two laterally placed hemispheres. So this is the neuroanatomy of the central nervous system. Here you can watch the full central nervous system diagram. The forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain. Hindbrain has pons, medulla oblongata and cerebellum. Spinal cord the cervical segment, thoracic segment, lumbar segment, sacral segment and coccygeal segment of the spinal cord. Now the peripheral nervous system, the neuroanatomy of the peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system consists of the peripheral nerves and the ganglia. Peripheral nerves consist of the cranial and the spinal nerves. Cranial nerves are 12 in pairs, while the spinal nerves has 31 pairs. And then the ganglia. Ganglia are the fusiform swelling associated with the nerves. They may be divided into sensory ganglion and autonomic ganglion. Sensory ganglion of the spinal nerve and the sensory ganglion of the cranial nerves, while the autonomic ganglion are irregular shaped structure present along the course of the efferent nerves fibers of the autonomic nervous system. You can see the diagram of the peripheral nervous system. This is the diagram. Brachial plexus, median nerve, lumbar plexus, sciatic nerves, femoral nerve. These are some the nerves of the peripheral nervous system, and this is the dorsal root ganglion, which is one of the ganglion of the peripheral nervous system. Here, this is the dorsal root ganglion. This is the gray matter, white matter, and from the dorsal column, here the dorsal root ganglion is present. In addition with the central and the peripheral nervous system, there is also present another system called the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system, it is the part of the nervous system that controls the visceral functions or involuntary functions of the body, is called the autonomic nervous system. The involuntary actions are carried out by this system. The innervation of the involuntary actions or functions, innervations of the involuntary structures such as heart, smooth muscle and the glands within the body are associated with the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is further divided into the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system or sympathetic autonomic nervous system is activated in stress, shock or emergency conditions. It is responsible for the fight or flight responses. And then the parasympathetic autonomic nervous system, it is concerned with the relaxing responses from the fight or flight. The activities of the parasympathetic nervous systems are associated with the energy conserving mechanisms. So this is the classification of the autonomic nervous system, and all these one are the classifications as I have discussed earlier. These all are the classification of the nervous system which control the different bodily functions and to maintain a constant internal environment despite extreme changes in the external environment. I hope by watching the full video you have learned, you have got complete concept of the classification of the nervous system. Thank you very much.